Um, Suge, for the civil suit that Terry Carter's family was suing Suge for, that ended in a mistrial. Can you speak a little bit about your reaction when you found out that it was a mistrial, and what, if anything, does this mean for Suge moving forward within the legal system?
Well, unfortunately, that was civil, not criminally. Suge got an appeal going on. I want to shout out my boy V-Dog. V-Dog, good job, man. I heard you really stepped up in the trial and told the truth. And I'll be releasing some audio that V-Dog taped on the whole setup. Got to figure out how we're going to put it out. But where y'all can hear how Bone and all of them, it was pretty much a setup, and even Terry, unfortunately, to get Suge over there so they can do something to Suge. And V-Dog explained that, and he got tapings of that where he got Bone talking about it, that, y'all done heard little pieces of it, 20 minutes, 25, but it's 3 to 4 hours of taping that V-Dog have. And once you listen to that, talk to V-Dog, and hear that, like the jury did, it came back 7-5 in favor to this, against the Terry Carter family. Even though I feel, and I still feel, Suge got some liability. But 9 people on the jury, it only takes people in a civil trial to convict, to have a guilty verdict, 8 or 9, I forget what it is, I think it's 8, civilly, where we know criminally it takes all 12. But they weren't able to even get the 8 or the 9 votes. And I just now wish he wouldn't have had those other 2 cases hanging over his head, because if it was just that one particular case, he would have took it to trial, and I think he would have had a good shot of beating it. I don't know what the grounds for appealing on I never heard of it, being able to appeal a plea agreement unless your counsel was on drugs or misappropriated or misstated something, a fact or something like that. I don't think they're going at the ineffective counsel, but that might be what they're going at. I don't know. It could be the 2-strike thing, where he got an extra 10 years just for being a 2-strike candidate, that he could have some rights that he's trying to appeal on that. And that take off 10 years. Take off 10 years, that'll get him out in 2024. And so that's worth a shot. But right now he is scheduled for 2034. For those of y'all that believe that or was misinformed that he won and he'd be getting out soon because of that case, it wasn't for the criminal part. It was for the civil part, which they're going to I'm sure, refile, and he have to go through it again, probably one more time. But that show y'all that boy David Kenner is a bad attorney to be able to get him to get the jury to believe that he had no liability on an accident. Even an accident, you have some liability, but he got him to believe it was a setup, and that was a hell of a defense. And unfortunately for the Carter family, because I know he was the breadwinner of their family, and I'm sure, the wife, I'm not worried about the daughters because that's what your husband's supposed to be for, unless you're under 17. But definitely the wife, needs somebody to help, when your loved one is taken out unexpectedly like that. Somebody should have to pay, and someone should be liable. But if you believe what they're putting out there, and I'm not saying either way because I don't know, that Terry was a part of the setup with Bone, then okay. I get it, Suge Knight. I get it, brother. I get it.
So with this ending in a mistrial, can the family do it again? Can they
Correct.
sue again?
Only time you can is on acquittals or not guilties or unfounded. I don't know what the term is for civil, but yeah, they can retry it. I think they get a second try, a second shot.
For the crime which defendant has been convicted in count 1, a violation of Penal Code Section 192, subdivision A, voluntary manslaughter with the strike prior conviction having been found true, defendant is sentenced to state prison for the high term. The reason for the high term is as a condition of the plea bargain. The high term is 11 years and must be doubled under the strike law. Defendant is levied a term in state prison of 22 years. Pursuant to Penal Code Section 12022, subdivision B, subdivision 1, he is levied an additional and consecutive 1 year in state prison. Pursuant to Penal Code Section 667, subdivision A, subdivision 1, the prior conviction the defendant has admitted, he is levied an additional 5 years in state prison for a total unstayed term of 28 years. This time, the defendant is ordered transferred to Department 120 to have a dismissal on the other matter, which is part of this plea bargain. If there's nothing further, that'll be it. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.